LeBron finishing with a game-high 27 points. Wasn't quite enough. Meanwhile, Chet leading the way for OKC with 24 as Thunder take game one. Game two, an opportunity for the Lakers to climb back, but they'll have to focus on that Thursday. And we're back joined by CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, the Lakers, they came in as the biggest underdogs of LeBron's career. And I'm going to say, for a while, LeBron gave them a little bit of life, but there in the fourth quarter, OKC just looked deeper. They looked faster, just like the more complete team. But did game one feel like the Thunder just simply confirmed the gap that we knew about coming into this game?
Yeah, they really did. I mean, that was light work. We were talking a little bit about this before we came on air, where it was like, oh, the Lakers gave them a little bit of a game. But at no point did I think, oh, the Lakers are actually going to win this thing, or the Oklahoma City was in danger of losing it. In the pregame show, you asked me what would have to happen. And I said, well, a whole bunch of things for the Lakers to be in this, right? You need a big effort from LeBron. He was great tonight, had 27 points, 6 assists. He was efficient. He limited his turnovers, which was a problem in the previous round. DeAndre Ayton, he was going to have to play well. He had a double-double. Marcus Smart was going to have to chip in. He was really good tonight. He also limited his turnovers. He had 4 steals, 12 points. And then SGA. SGA was just a guy tonight. 18 points, 7 turnovers, a very un-SGA-like game, right? So you'd think, okay, the Lakers should be in this. They lost by 18. Like, this is just what Oklahoma City does to teams. They turn the Lakers over 18 times, turn that into 20 points. Chet Holmgren had a big game. Isaiah Hartenstein was really good. Oh, by the way, here comes Jared McCain, a guy that the Sixers didn't want and gave away, and he goes for 12 points, and he's hitting threes all over the place, and he's smiling, and that's the difference between Oklahoma City and the Lakers. The Lakers have to be perfect, and Oklahoma City just has to go out and play.
Okay, but when LeBron does get you 27 and the game still gets away, is this just the reality of this Lakers team right now? LeBron, he can still give you some stretches, but without Luka, without your full cast of characters and healthy characters, they need almost everything, like you said, to be perfect against the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more you could ask from 41-year-old LeBron this postseason. He's been playing great for the most part, and I mentioned the turnovers against the Rockets. Well, tonight he limited those, and he was super efficient. And here's the thing. He can only do so much, right? He did help raise the level of Rui Hachimura. He did help raise the level of DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. Austin Reeves is back. He's dealing with that oblique injury. He was not himself tonight. And unless you get really good Austin Reeves that you got earlier in the season when Austin Reeves was the 1A option and the Lakers were basically saying, hey, LeBron, you're going to be third in usage rate, and you're going to do all the other stuff, and you're going to be the best role player in the NBA. Unless Austin Reeves is really that 1A option that he was when Luka and Austin Reeves were healthy, then the Lakers are going to have a really tough night and a really tough series against an Oklahoma City team that is just so much deeper and so much more talented at both ends of the floor. He shot Austin Reeves tonight 3 for 16. That's not going to get it done. You're never going to be able to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in their gym, where they've only lost 7 times all year, unless Austin Reeves gets super hot, and he was super cold tonight.
Okay, so let's say Austin Reeves does get back to being that 1A. What other adjustments do you see that the Lakers would need to do heading into game 2 to give them any type of chance in this?
Yeah, I mean, we discussed it, but you need hot LeBron. You got that tonight. You need Austin Reeves to be hot. You have to limit the turnovers. Everybody says this about playing Oklahoma City. It's so much easier said than done, but you can't turn the ball over 18 times and give them 20 points. They feast off of that. That's where they get, they generate so much offense is out of those live ball turnovers off of their defense. And again, easier said than done, because you're dealing with in the front court Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, who is just a monster defensively. And then they swarm you with their wing defenders, Kayson Wallace, Alex Caruso, just up and down the Lou Dort, guys who don't really necessarily pop in the box score after a game, who just in game, when you're watching it live, you're like, oh man, that is a tough assignment for the Lakers to get past. And then beyond all that, you got to shoot the ball better. They only shot 42% from the floor, just 33% from deep. That's not going to cut it. And on a night when they did a great job defending SGA, turning him over 7 times, you're thinking, okay, that's a good start. Not nearly enough. All of these things have to come together at the same time. It's got to be a perfect storm every single game for the Lakers, and tonight it wasn't.
Okay, John, just one last thing really briefly before I let you go. We talked pregame. You did not even give the Lakers a fighting chance of a gentleman's sweep. Now, what we saw through, I'm going to say 3 quarters, did game 1 maybe change how you might view them the rest of the series? Are you going to give them one game at least? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I'm not. If anything, it confirmed what I thought, because before we came on, I said, oh, well, at least the Lakers covered the spread. This is how easy the game went for Oklahoma City. I just looked and I'm like, oh, no, they didn't actually.
No.
They didn't cover the spread. They won. Oklahoma City won by 18. This was light work for Oklahoma City. Imagine if they were actually trying. It's bad news for the Lakers.
Okay, bad news for the Lakers, but they can dust themselves off and try again. Game 2 Thursday. And John, you'll be all over it and expecting the same result. Appreciate you, my friend. Take a look at the most consecutive playoff wins in Thunder franchise history. 6 straight wins. That only trails the 1996, then you remember, Seattle Supersonics, who had 8. They're looking for another one, like I mentioned. Game 2 Thursday from OKC. Lakers, well, they roll into the West Series off that blowout closeout win over the Houston Rockets. But now comes a different kind of test. Oklahoma City, rested and ready after a clean sweep of Phoenix in the first round. Game 1 renews a playoff matchup that we haven't seen since 2012, and that's when OKC, well, they took it in 5. But they say the regular season means nothing in the playoffs, and I'm sure the Lakers hope that that stands. OKC, a perfect 4-0 against LA this season. And it was a convincing season sweep. The Thunder beat the Lakers by an average margin of 29.3 points per game. That's the worst point per game differential against a single opponent in a season in Lakers history. We're now joined by CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, LeBron James has been a lot of things throughout his playing career. He's been the favorite. He's been the standard. He's been the guy that everyone else has to go through. But tonight, he walks into OKC in a spot that we never really have seen him before. The Lakers, the biggest underdogs in any game of LeBron James' career. So when you look at that number and you hear that stat, John, is that pretty hard to believe? What's that spread say to you?
I mean, I laughed when I looked, because I was like, I'm just going to check this out before we came on here. Let me see what this line is. And I actually laughed out loud. It's not a reflection on LeBron. It's two things. It's one, Oklahoma City is that good. And two, the Lakers weren't probably supposed to be here. They don't have Luka. They only had Austin Reeves for 2 games in the last series against the Rockets. That team, as we've discussed so many times, is so thin after the top 3 guys, right? And you're not having one of those 3 guys. So look, LeBron did an incredible job in the first round, really buoying the Lakers against the Rockets team that I thought should have advanced. And instead, without his 2 running mates, he's, scoring when he needed to be scoring. He was distributing, he was rebounding, doing all the things that makes LeBron LeBron, and elevating the games of guys like Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard and DeAndre Ayton. And I thought he was just really, really impressive. But what that number really says is, that's the distance between these 2 teams, right? Even with LeBron and even with Austin Reeves back, Oklahoma City is so far superior to the Lakers. And again, not a reflection on LeBron, very much a reflection on the team in total.
Yeah, you're thinking about this OKC team who comes in healthy. You've got the Lakers, you're still dealing with no Luka, but I talked about that clean sweep 4-0 in the regular season certainly has to play a little bit into that. But the Thunder, they did exactly what a top team is supposed to do, John. You handle business early, you get off your feet, you wait for the next challenge. But when you've been off for a week and the Lakers are coming in battle tested, I'm not saying that this is going in LA's favor, but I want to ask you, how important is it for the start for OKC in tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, they have been off for a while, and there's always that rest versus rust tug and pull. But I think, the Thunder are so far superior to the Lakers that I don't think that matters. I think they're very pleased that they had all this time off, and they're happy to have just watched the first round unfold while the Lakers had to play 6 games against the Rockets team that they probably should have locked up much sooner than they did. So, they're also so deep, right? There's so much redundancy with the Thunder. I mean, if SGA isn't having a good game, Chet probably is. And if Chet isn't having a good game, you don't have Jalen Williams, but then you could just go through and go, all right, well, maybe AJ Mitchell is having a good game. Maybe Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, Kason Wallace. You just go down the list. I mean, there's so many different ways that they can beat you. And on top of that, they're at home, right? And they've only lost 7 games at home all season. So even if they get off to a slow start, I suspect that won't last very long.
Fair analysis right there. And we all know that SGA is the headliner for OKC. Chet Holmgren, he is coming off that strong closeout game against Phoenix. But, John, who would you say is the X factor for the Thunder, at least in this series against LA?
Yeah, it really could be anybody not named SGA, right? I mean, as we were just discussing, I mean, they're the deepest team in the league. You could go with Hartenstein or Chet battling DeAndre Ayton because they could go with a two big lineup. You could go with any of their top-notch wing defenders from Alex Caruso to Kayson Wallace to Lou Dort. I'm going to go with AJ Mitchell, who's a guy who some people might not be familiar with. No Jalen Williams, who's on this unknown timetable to return because of that hamstring injury, but they don't need to bring him back quickly because, one, they're heavy favorites in this series, and two, because AJ Mitchell slides into that starting lineup pretty seamlessly, right? He's a really good scorer. He can play on or off the ball. He's a good passer. He doesn't hurt them defensively. He adds that extra offensive punch that you lose as a secondary scorer when you don't have Jalen Williams out there. Is he as good as Jalen Williams? No, he's not, but he is very, very good. Earlier this season, I thought he was on a path to be the sixth man of the year before he got hurt. And then when he came back, he went back to the bench and he just bolstered this bench that is already so insanely deep. So now with no Jalen Williams, he's really nice backup option. Honestly, it's such an embarrassment of riches for the Thunder. When I was asked who the X factor was going to be, I could have just blindfolded myself and thrown a dart, and it could have been that person.
It must be nice. What a luxury to have that kind of depth, especially at this point of the year, and even with Jalen Williams not in the lineup. But it feels like in a series when you are a massive underdog, everyone kind of has to be an X factor in some capacity. Austin Reeves is back, but you're still without Luka. So who has to step up and be the playmaker for LA? Who's your X factor for the Lakers?
Yeah, I'm almost putting LeBron and Austin Reeves to the side because they have to be huge, right?
Yeah.
You know that it's not even an X factor. It's like if they have any shot at all to even make this a competitive series or even try to steal a game, then those two guys have to go supernova. So we'll put them to the side. DeAndre Ayton, I thought about him. He's averaging a double-double. He offered a huge boost against the Rockets, and I think that how he plays against those two bigs and Hartenstein and Chet will be important. But I'm going to go with Marcus Smart here because without Luka and Austin Reeves only played 2 games in that Houston series, they really needed somebody to step up. And I didn't think it was going to be Marcus Smart, Kiana. I mean, he's a former Defensive Player of the Year. That's really what he's known for. But also his best days, I thought, were behind him. Well, he was great in the first round. Now, he wasn't great in the last couple games, but he was big overall in that series against Houston, averaged nearly 15 points per game, provided excellent defense, almost 5 combined steals and blocks per game, which was amazing and even more amazing and really surprising to me. And this is why I was sort of blown away by it and why he's my X factor. Shot almost 45% from 3. You don't really think of Marcus Smart as being a reliable 3-point shooter. Boston Celtics fans will tell you that at best he's streaky. So they're going to need his shot making if he can make some shots. They're going to need him to play defense, which is his best skill set. And then he's really going to have to limit those turnovers because that was the one thing against Houston that he didn't do well. He had way too many turnovers in that series. And unfortunately for him and for the Lakers, Oklahoma City absolutely feasts on mistakes. So he's got to limit those if the Lakers have any shot of being in this thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's say that Marcus Smart does have a clean game and he's known for his defense. His shot making kind of picks up, not from the end of the series, but earlier in the series. Let's say we've got LA firing on all cylinders. Is that enough to convince you to pick them? You're rolling with OKC. What's your pick for this one?
For the are we doing game or
one,
series?
Game one.
For game one. All right. So everything goes great for the Lakers. You've got LeBron playing well. You've got Austin Reeves playing well. You get early series from the last round. Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard shooting the lights out of the ball. They're playing good defense, and they're still going to lose. They're on the road in a place where Oklahoma City does not lose, right? I mean, they have the best home court advantage in the entire NBA. They've only lost 7 games at home all season. As I mentioned, they're deeper. They don't have the Lakers don't have Luka. It doesn't matter even that the Thunder don't have Jalen Williams. They're just that much better. That number is that big for a reason. And as we mentioned, the Oklahoma City Thunder absolutely steamrolled the Lakers during the regular season. Bad news for the Lakers. Game 1, same deal.
Just brutal. Okay, John, I want to kind of nerd out on you a little bit.
Okay.
Teams that win game 1 of a best-of-7 series typically win that series around more than 70% of the time. But I just want to hammer in the note that you just made. The winning opener at home is even a stronger indicator with north of an 82% series win rate. You talk about how dominant OKC has been at home. So Does this spell trouble for LA in your eyes? Who's headed to the Western Conference Finals and in how many games? I feel like I know where we're going, so I'll just let you take it away.
Everybody knows, as you know, I live here in Los Angeles, and I haven't seen anybody out there going, you know what? I think the Lakers are going to take this thing off of Oklahoma City. It's not happening, right? I mean, look, towards the end of the regular season, when the Lakers were really rolling, right? Second to last week of the season, they had won 15 of 17 games. Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, all playing amazing. This is the scenario we're talking about, right? Like if everything's going well for the Lakers, that was happening second to last week of the season. They were all healthy, right? And they said, we're going to go to Oklahoma City for this last game. They had already lost 3. We're going to play them on their floor. We're going to play them hard. That did not happen. They lost by the biggest margin they had lost a game by in years. And on top of that, that was the game when Austin and Luka got hurt. So not only did they get blown out, but injury was added to insult. So all 4 games during the regular season were absolute routs by Oklahoma City. It, again, does not matter that Jalen Williams is not going to be in this series. Would they like to have him? Sure. I think they could just rest him the rest of the way and bring him back for the Western Conference Finals when they're going to face a team in either the Spurs or the Wolves that actually could push them. The Lakers are not that team. Been a good season for the Lakers, but they're aiming towards a rebuild this offseason.